Hey everybody, hello, good afternoon to you and welcome to Ruby Uncensored. It's good to see everyone and thank you so much guys for passing through. But I want to say to everyone who just got hold of this channel for the first time, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and also making sure that your bell is on, because every time I'm live you will be the first person to be notified. And to my regulars whom I love and respect, thank you so much guys for sticking around. It means a lot really, and we're having a great time. Please don't forget to like the live as we get along, and please make sure that you engage on the conversation. So breaking news now, to my surprise, I did not know that EU was actually sponsoring Zimbabwe Electoral Commission. You know what happened with this sham election, right? Very sad and embarrassing indeed. And then we're going to be looking at Mr. Shingi Munyeza. Yazi, debt-ridden Shingi Munyeza now in a real mess. You know, the pastor, right? Yes, we're going to be looking at that. Mono Mukundi, I'm sorry, 9 years, faithful to his marriage, no sex in his marriage. And today we're going to be looking at that story as well. But really it's just to encourage each other and see what's happening in our society. Now let's go in and check what's going on with the trends before we move forward. So Twitter trends very quickly. Guys, do not forget to subscribe to the channel if you're new here. And if my regulars, please stick around. Let's have a conversation. Feel free as you like the live. Moving right along, let's look at the trends. What is Twitter saying right now about Zimbabwe? Xenophobic is all about xenophobia right now. You know, South Africa is very close to elections, and for that reason people are worried about foreign nationals. And you know, when we speak of foreign nationals, Zimbabweans are always going to be on the top of the list. So I'm sure that's why there's an issue of xenophobic today. Moving right along, we have God is in it. So people were questioning to Nelson Chamisa and said, hey, you've been saying God is in it. What happened to him? Where is he right now in the midst of all this? But this is what I'm going to remind you now. God is still in it. His ways are not our ways, and his thoughts are not our thoughts, and they're always higher than our thoughts. I'm a person who is really desperate for a permanent solution to Zimbabwe's sickness. So for that reason, anything permanent has to be a process. So I'm encouraging you, y'all, to make sure that at least you respect the process. And you know, God's answers are simply yes and they are amen. His promises are yes and they are amen. So you must know that he's in it, and he will surely come through and show off. So keep your belts on, because we are going to see the Zimbabwe that we always wanted. So Zimbabwe is really definitely looking at those trends. It's God is in it, and also xenophobic. Mr. Mnangagwa as well. He is trending at the UN General Assembly, and the people are like, we want to know what is he really talking about. You know, I this morning actually came through a space where I had some of the ZONE-PF guys were having their space, and they were saying they can't wait to hear what the president has to say. But some people were saying, what is the point of African presidents, attending UN General Assembly? Because whenever they address people, the room is actually empty. What is the point? Why wasting money? Why spending money on those trips? Why can't they just chill and relax? Because surely nobody's actually listening to them. I'm not surprised, because if you are content free, who's gonna listen to you? Especially when we talk of the legitimacy of the current president, Mr. Emmerson Mnangagwa. So for him to be addressing UN General Assembly, yeah, I'm just saying, like, what are they listening to? That's just my opinion. So those are some of the things that people were raising today. So we're gonna move quickly now to our top stories. European Union, right? I didn't know that they were actually sponsoring elections in Zimbabwe, but they were doing it. First of all, you invite them to come through so they can be part and parcel of observing such a sham elections, and you're not sure for sure that they're actually sponsoring the election. I'm very disappointed, and this is actually humiliating and embarrassment, especially for ZEC. Very, very embarrassing. But there's a quote here that has been dropped by Nigel Chanakra with an elephant on top. Yeah, do you know that elephants are also leaving Zimbabwe? Our animals are leaving the country. It's one thing for us to be leaving the country as people, because we are looking for greener pastures to take care of our family members. But it's worse when animals can feel the illegitimacy of leadership in the country, and they're also escaping. So they are on their way to Botswana looking for water. Very disappointing and heartbreaking that even our animals can actually feel that the country is no longer Serving them well. Very disappointing. So the court says those who shy away from addressing the elephant in the room, quote, the elephant in the room, so I bought that one, suffer the burden of carrying its weight. So those who shy away from addressing the elephant in the room suffer the burden of carrying its weight. Zimbabweans, for those that are supporting such mediocre and a lot of ills, you are just going to suffer the burden of carrying such weight, which is unnecessary. So when we all stand together and say wrong is wrong, we win. But I want to start by the quote that was sent out by Namata Kwekweza. She said, EU, okay, the EU has suspended funding for the Zimbabwe Electoral Commission. It appears that during the same period that NGOs were persecuted for being donor funded, the Zimbabwe Electoral Commission was getting funds from donors. I've said it before and we'll say it again. The government has no moral authority to bully NGOs over donor funds. The government is heavily dependent on donors itself. In critical sectors like health, donors have helped this comatose establishment to stay on life support for a long time, and they will never admit all the help they have received. If the government is sincere that they don't want donors, they should stop taking the funds themselves and also deliver on the constitutional mandate for public goods so that NGOs no longer need to be there to do work that the government should be doing. Plus, this Western puppet and Western funded rhetoric is now redundant. Even the government is Western funded. So Varakash Muchaita say, now we're going to say shout out to everyone who's supporting ZANU-PF. What are you going to do now that you've realized that the EU is funding Zimbabwe Electoral Commission? Because you're the one who've been saying Western puppet every time Chamisa lift up his head, standing and take a picture with a white person, you are a Western puppet. Mr. Mbalula, I'm expecting you to be saying something since you have always been, singing the same mantra with ZANU-PF that Nelson Chamisa is a Western puppet. Did you know that our elections were actually being funded by European Union? I thought you didn't know. Did they tell your bodies that that's what's going down in the city? That can show you the kind of people that we are dealing with. So I went straight to European delegation to Zimbabwe page because I wanted to hear what they're saying on their Twitter page. And they said the press release, the delegation of European Union to this Republic of Zimbabwe has used the following press release notifying of its intention to suspend support for the Zimbabwe Electoral Commission's project. The press release is also available on the following links. So if you want to go and check a look, you're more than welcome to confirm this statement that they released on their Twitter page. I'm sure on Facebook as well as all other platforms. I can also maybe add YouTube as well as Google. I think their website. So it said press release for immediate release. For immediate release, the European Union notifies its intention to suspend support for the Zimbabwe Electoral Commission's project. Agreed, 115%. I could be doing the same. Yo! If you're in a family where, let me tell you, I've got people that have asked me when I was fined for money to start businesses. And I did. But trust me, up to today, I never seen no report, no feedback. What did they do with the money? Will I ever fund? Should God blesses me again? No, I won't fund those people because I know they are not trustworthy. That's why there was a talent. When God was giving talents, he was expecting returns and also see what you have done with the money and what is happening and gets to see, feedback on the, on your harvest, but nothing. So as far as European Union is concerned, they can see that the whole election was a farce. It was a lie. The money that they injected was definitely being abused. Nothing happened. Even if you check the tables for FAS, they were not even those clothes there, they were not even going maybe for $5 or something. So imagine injecting $5 million US. That is actually hundreds of thousands in rands and still not seeing nothing coming out of that election. What are you going to do? We immediately going to pull out of the deal because we realize that you're being used, you're being abused for people's personal gain. They just took the money, maybe sharing among themselves, whatever they did, only God knows. But the bottom line is that election did not worth it. $5 million US. This shame thing that just happened recently. As a matter of fact, there was never an election. I've always been saying to people, let's tell each other the truth, Zimbabweans. There was never an election. That was simply just a joke. There was never, and I repeat, an election in Zimbabwe. It was definitely just a joke. So they said Harare, 19 September 2023, which is actually yesterday. The letter was written yesterday. I saw it last night. The European Union, EU, has formally communicated its intention to suspend its $5 million financial support for the Zimbabwe Electoral Commission to both the Ministry of Finance and Investment Promotion and ZEC. The project supporting ZEC, which is managed by UNDP and scheduled to run until December 2024, is currently under scrutiny due to concerns raised by several international electoral observation missions, EOMS, regarding the independent and transparency of ZEC during the 2023 harmonized elections. So I'm going to say this to everyone who's been questioning, why did Chamisa actually participated in this shame of an election? If we did not participate, all that we are seeing today, nothing was going to happen. So sometimes all you need is evidence to prove that the people are not treating you well. But if you keep on blaming without evidence, no one will ever believe you. So they said the recent preliminary statements from the multiple EMS, including the EU, EOM, has raised concerns about ZEC's management of the electoral process, particularly regarding its independence and transparency. The EU contributes together with other donors to a UNDP management project aiming at enhancing ZEC's institutional and technical capabilities to fulfill its constitutional mandate. Oh. In response to these concerns and in adhere to the responsible management of EU development cooperation funds, the EU has initiated a procedure to suspend its contribution to this project. Agreed. Tore marienyu, tore marienyu, tore marienyu, tore marienyu. The EU firmly endorses the critical importance of electoral management bodies serving as independent and transparent institutions in fulfilling their mandates to deliver incredible inclusive electoral processes that enjoy the trust citizens. The EU remains open to the possibility of resuming its contribution to support efforts aiming at strengthening the electoral processes and bring such processes closer to the regional and international standard that Zimbabwe has signed. Hands. So they can only, the EU remains open. So they are open. They only pool their funds now, considering that there are no reforms. So to me, it sounds like they're saying if Zimbabwe can reform, if there can be electoral processes that are favorable to all parties, they may still inject those funds. But I think maybe when we disband the entire ZEC, when we have a completely new institution that may oversee our electoral processes, but what we have currently, no. No, it's definitely not going to work. And with all respect, Mrs. Priscilla Chigumba and your colleagues, you definitely embarrassed us. You definitely humiliated us. This is not who we are. And as a matter of fact, I'm a firm believer that even if your hands were caught, I still expected you to actually say, hey guys, if you keep on wanting to cut corners, I'm not going to be part and parcel of this. But the fact that you went on with such a shame of an election, you are still also going to be held accountable. I'm not a firm believer that you can complain that people pulled me into mess because you have the power of will. You can say yes, you can say no. It is your responsibility to make a decision. So I completely do not agree that Mrs. Chigumba can come here and say, it's not my fault. The last time I checked, I remember she had a press conference and she confirmed that she does not have the powers to make decisions. But if you know that you don't have the powers and you keep on being blamed for other people's actions, why are you still holding the position? That's when we have to question your integrity, right? Yes, now it's an integrity issue and caution. Because if you know that I'm being coerced or I'm being held at ransom by certain individuals for their own personal gain, why then are you still holding the position? Because I would resign. I would disappear. For real. I would find my way to say I'm out of here. But Mrs. Chigumba, the fact that you're still there with your colleagues, with your friends and your bodies and your children all around this space there, it says a lot about your integrity and your ethics. So for me, I'm not going to believe that you're coerced. I think you also want to form part and parcel because they don't just coerce you for free. Surely there must be some exchanges there. Only God knows, because Jonathan Moy, remember last time in 2018, he confirmed that Miss Priscilla Chikumba was given a house in Borrowdale. I said these were the words of Jonathan Moy. He confirmed that Miss Priscilla Chikumba was given a house in Borrowdale immediately after announced fake results. Guys, I want to say to you, good afternoon. If you just join us, please don't forget to like the live and make sure that you push the algorithm. And also, join in the conversation. I want to hear your comments. What are you saying about the EU pulling out of funding the Zimbabwe Electoral Commission? Do you think they're being unfair? Do you think their actions are justified? Please just comment. And do not forget to make sure that you also like the live. And if you're new, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Make sure you ring the bell because every time I'm coming here, you'll be the first person to be notified. So please come along. Let's have a conversation. Now, they went on to say the European Union will continue closely monitoring developments in Zimbabwe and reaffirms its commitment to collaborate with the government, independent commissions, civil society, and other stakeholders in promoting democracy, human rights, and rule of law. Yo, listen. Do you know that Zimbabwe is one of the most blessed countries? But we can all just ask questions and say, so what is really the problem? People who have been injecting money to assist you to have the best election ever, since you are saying you are not financially sound. Now they're still saying, we are very disappointed with your actions, but we are still committed to assist you should you want to have a balanced election, a level ground when you conduct your democratic elections. They're still there to assist. What more do Zimbabwe want? Mr. President, Mr. Priscilla Chigumba, no, but we said we need to disband the whole institution because not only are we disappointed in 2023, this has been the ongoing challenge for the past, I think, decades. So as for me, I have no trust in Zimbabwe Electoral Commission. So for EU to pull out their funding, I'm saying thumbs up, thumbs up. You can't keep on injecting funds to people that do not even deserve it. We do not deserve it. As long as our electoral processes are not intact, we don't deserve the money. You rather inject your money in the place where you know that is useful. Why not take that money and go give the orphans that are hungry? Why not take that money and go feed the poor? Because seriously, this money is just getting to the coffers of the wicked. So for me, I'm saying, nope, the money must be channeled in the right places where it can be of a blessing to those that are truly in need. The background information, the ZIM ECO2 project. The primary goal of the ZIM ECO2 project is to enhance ZEC's capacity to conduct an electoral processes with the aim of contributing to the improvement of the entire electoral cycle, not limited to elections alone. This project is managed by UNDP and receives support from various donors, including the EU, following the signing of the financial agreement with the Ministry of Finance in November 2022. The EU officially entered into the ZIM's ECO2 project with the UNDP in December 2022, providing a total contribution of 4.7 million USD, of which approximately 1 million euros have been spent. I do remember this. There was the last year when they came in 2022, when they were dishing out money. I remember this and I can confirm. I remember I saw that. So they are dishing money of, they dished the money of about 4.7 million US dollars, which was about 1 million in euros. And no accountability at all. No accountability. Are you surprised? I am not surprised. I can never stop to refer to the helicopters from Russia that they allege that they spent 320 million US dollars. I can never stop refer to those all right, so now European Union they can pull. All I'm saying is it's justified that they are pulling from contribute towards the elections in Zim because this past election was such an embarrassment. Thumbs up. Wait and do their reforms in place if there can be any. But as far as ZEC is concerned, I personally can vouch that they should be disbanded. It's definitely an institution that is flawed, an institution that is it's just they are disrespectful. Let's start right there. And also they don't deserve to get such money and still being able to deliver the worst election in history. Now, response to that article or to that press release, different views from different people. I want to start with Citizen Agent's tweet. He said the Zimbabwean government is a puppet of the West. They are funded by the West. They are accepting money from the West. They have always been a puppet of both East and West. They are donor funded. They are NGO funded. Never let anyone fool you. This is a puppetry. Puppets. I can see people keep on saying, but the army is being paid 170 US dollars. I know that we're getting to that story. Quickly, I'm with you right here. Very embarrassing. It's a shame. It's a shame, and it is a shame. So, you know, and then Nigel Chanakira, you know, my father, bless him. He said, no surprise here, ZEC let down and disappointed local, regional, and international impartial supporters and observers, let alone voters and participants in the past election. Its antics were always and are going to cost us literally tragic and irreparable consequences. Not yet Uhuru agreed. ZEC embarrassed all of us. Yeah, sometimes you wish like you can un-Zimbabwe yourself, you know, like please un-Zimbabwe me if you can. Can somebody un-Zimbabwe me, please? Can somebody un-Zimbabwe me if possible? Right? I need to be un-Zimbabwe. Please. And then Tandekilemo said 5 million USD. Question mark, question mark, question mark. So the state also gets funded by imperialist organizations to push imperialist interests and agendas in Zimbabwe. Interesting. Anyway, thank you, EU, for taking this stand. I also hope that next time your delegation will not hire cars from Impala Care Rentals, the company used by the state to abduct descendants. Please do, due diligence before you enter a country. So also people are complaining ahead about Impala Care as well, car rentals, that they always sponsor the abductions and torture of most people in Zimbabwe. That's what I heard. I saw it on Twitter. Tadekle is also confirming the same, that you should never hire cars from them. And you know, this is what I'm saying, that we seems like we have lost that community, that family, that respect, that love for one another. Because if I'm owning a car rental and I know that my car is being used to abduct innocent people, tortured, I don't think I will ever, as a matter of fact, I'll report to the police immediately. The moment I know that you're using my car for your own ills and your own evil, I won't be participating into that. So I'm surprised. Impala car rental, wherever you are, I say shout out, and please, if that's what you're doing, if you are renting your cars and people are being abducted, you also collecting blood money. God does not want that. The curse of God will fall upon you, and that business will never last, because God won't let you. God will not let you, that you are actually feeding from the pen of all people. It's definitely evil, it's uncalled for, and it has to be condemned by any sane person. And Dr. Walter Muzambi said, seen quite a few learned fools trying to defend Zimbabwe against the suspension of 5 million electoral funding for ZEC. In all sorts of patriotic and sovereignty excuses, reality is if you can't be trusted. We saw to what about EU Commission, EDF? Because you can't be trusted with $1 million. They gave me €1 billion. I remember last year when they were receiving this money, I saw Ma'am Chang was smiling, you know, with a smile. When she smiled, that the whole neck can also respond. But still give us such a shame of an election. You are embarrassing us. And it worries me a lot, because we have to carry the burden of shame all our life as Zimbabweans. All of us. Yeah, it's not going to be only them. It's all of us as Zimbabweans. We're going to be carrying the burden of shame. You mentioned you're Zimbabwean and you are in Europe. They say, oh, you're the ones that we gave money and nothing really came out. We have to face this embarrassment, and it's wrong. At some point, it has to stop. And the point is now. Definitely now. Very embarrassing. Moving right along, congratulations, guys. Let me just tell, if you're young here, if any young person here, young people, if you're in your 20s, come on. If you're in your 20s right here, I want to say to you, shout out. You are a blessed child. You are in the right place, because I will help you to shape your destiny. If you're struggling, if you are lacking people that can direct you in the right direction, come over here. Please, I will leave my numbers. Come. We need to make sure that we shape your destiny, because other 25-year-olds, if you're in your 30s, you are too late. If you're just roaming around and doing things that are stupid, you are too late. Because we are having 25-year-olds, 2 of them today. I want to say congratulations to Shanti Chiwara, 25. She becomes the mayoress in Masvingo. Wow. Come on. Shout out to my girls. Who runs the world? I think girls are actually kind of winning right now. I'm going to say shout out to Chantal. Chantal Chiwara, 25-year-old. She became the mayoress of Masvingo. Shout out to you. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of these girls who are committed to serving the community, who are focused. I've always said, if you're a man right here, young girls, young men, stop spending your time running after women. If you're a young boy, or running after men, if you're young women, put your life in order. Write down a vision. God told you to write a vision and make it plain. The rest you will deal with it. All you need to do is write it down. Start imagining a better life for yourself, notwithstanding the circumstances that surrounds us. Start imagining a better life and you take action. Stop wasting your life by moving around, just wasting your life sleeping around. Either you're a man or a woman, stop that. Put your life in order. Other 25-year-olds are doing incredible things. We also have the one that becomes again the mayor in mayor is also in a 25-year-old in Epworth. Congratulations. Oh, she's a counselor for Ward 6. Look what these young girls are doing. Incredible. Also a 25-year-old. So two 25-year-olds that are doing incredibly well. They are there to save the country. Guys, stand up, rise up. Young people, it's time you do what's right. And stop wasting your life. Okay, don't waste your life. Don't waste your life. Drugs, stop that. Alcohol, please stop that. There are two principles in my house that my son I look squarely in his eyes, on his forehead every day. I'm like, God is not giving you the spirit of fear, but God gave you the spirit of love, of power, and of a sound mind. You are called for greatness. And number two is in this house, you're not allowed to drink alcohol. You're not allowed to smoke. You don't choose. You are not allowed. It's a principle in my house. Or else maybe when you're grown and you can do your nonsense out there, as long as you're under my roof, you're eating my food and you're drinking my water, you Mama's got rules, y'all. Mama's got rules. So you're not allowed. You can't drink alcohol. You're not going to smoke. So it's not. What does Mama say? No smoking, no drinking, no smoking, no drinking. Let me tell you, where did I get this rule? Apparently, that's how Donald Trump raised his sons. Donald Trump raised his son the same. He said every day, he used to look in the square of his children. You know, Donald Trump's kids, they're all very successful, right? You used to look in daddy's eyes. No alcohol, no smoking. No alcohol, no smoking. So, you have to be intentional. We are in 2023. The enemy is running to from. He's very intentional to destroy and to steal and to kill. And we have to be very intentional in speaking life and destiny to our children and mold them in the right direction so they can be great men and great women whom the Lord has called them to be. Now, Gift Ostolos tweeted and said, ZANU-PF 4 Councillor Charles, by the way, I don't know if people understand what is it to be a councillor or a member of parliament to actually work in a government space, because in Zimbabwe, people think it's for you to get a job. No, it's a place to serve, y'all. Because there's a councillor that lost being a mayor in Chirezi and he literally wept. He cried. This man cried because he lost to become a mayor in Chirezi. Kuchemera kuita mayor. Kuchema kutinduda kuita mayor. Iwe, wake up. It's a place of service, but because when she promised us my post, they want to use it as a way of looting. But no way, he lost the deal. And this dude, what happened? He was crying. What an embarrassment. What an embarrassment. So Ostalo said, some PF Ward 4 Councillor Charles crying after his party was walloped this afternoon during the vote for Chirezi Town Council mayorship. Citizens have rejected the regime and its drug lights short of violence, criminal abuse of the law, terror. ZANU-PF cannot win any election in this country. We all know that. Nobody can vote for them. Nobody. That's why they grabbed this past election, because they knew there was nowhere to go. They were surrounded. Mandla was looking, squinting their eyes, and oh. So they knew that we surrounded them. So the only way was to hijack it and just cause a mess. You know what happened? But at the end of it all, truth will prevail. The real winner will reign in due course, soon than you can ever think. Yes, soon. Oh, so now the Harare Provincial Affair and Devolution Secretary Tafazwa Muguti, he sent a chilling message today to the people in Chitungwiza. He said, we are tired of CCC's fights and ZANU-PF's fights. Let me tell you, on the other hand, I really support him. I don't care ZANU-PF, but I think he's got a point. If you get into parliament or you get into any position to serve, stop this political rhetoric and start saving the people of Zimbabwe dignity and respect. We are tired of people who are pulling their political mantra or their political jacket into the space and start saving only the ZANU-PF people. No, that way of service needs to be cancelled. There must be some form of discipline in our people to understand that when you are voting into the space, even if you have voted through election, this applies to the president too. Mr. Mnangagwa is not a president for ZANU-PF. He's not. He's a president for the people of Zimbabwe. That should be understood. So for those that think that they're owning the president, you are 150 million% wrong. We need to understand that when you are serving in any government space, you are there to serve the people of Zimbabwe, everyone. So he said, so I quote, he said, I don't want to hear fights in council chambers. ZANU-PF versus Triple C. You have that bad reputation in Chitungwiza. If you repeat what you did last year, I don't want to lie to you. This time around, there will be no acting mayor. I'll put a commission in place. I've warned you. So two things. People are thinking that is that threat of ZANU-PF because he's wording his, he's wearing his what do you call it? That war, green, yellow, blue, white thing that you normally put around their neck. So people are saying, it may have been just a way because, they are so desperate for a two-thirds majority in parliament. They may be that way of trying to sabotage so they can find their way to change this constitution, which will not happen. So on the other hand, I said, I do agree with him. There's really no time for us to play politics. Let's save our people dignity. It's time for us to move forward. We are really behind. Talking about being behind, y'all, can I tell you? Dictatorship is not bad when we talk about Rwanda. If I can see a man like Kagame as a dictator, I'm happy to be under the dictatorship of Kagame. Please, sir, you can dictate me if you want to, because I'm seeing change, I'm seeing growth in Rwanda. But when you look at Zimbabwe, we've got such dictatorship that have kept us at ransom for decades. No growth, we are just stuck. But let me be under the dictatorship of Kagame, I'll be fine. So he is running this coming year again as a president. And people are like, oh, 23 years in power. No, you want to come back? He said, I'm coming back. But this is what I'm saying. If the people of Rwanda can voluntarily, not having this sham of an election that we had, if they can voluntarily choose him as a leader, surely he's doing great. This man is such a humble, clean, pristine, very successful. A man of one woman. I just say a man of one woman. Let me drink more water on that one. Cheers to a man of one woman. A man of one woman. You heard me. So I'm a person who believes, and I may be right, that it's very difficult. If a man, listen to me, is not disciplined in women, he cannot be a leader. That man can never be trusted with leadership. I'm not saying that maybe you divorce and you find another woman. You are this man who can't stay with one woman. You're all over the place. Every woman in the street, you are there. You can't be trusted as a leader because women are always going to be your downfall. So Miss Kagame, I respect him because he's a man of one woman. You heard me correctly. You should use your brain to think. Why is my mind racing? I know that your mind is racing too because I'm stuck to my guns. A man who can't discipline himself when it comes to women can never be trusted in leadership. He's going to destroy. He's definitely going to destroy. It's a principle. It is a principle that governs life. You must be a good leader at home in order for you to succeed in any form of business leadership. You will see it when I go down there. You'll see what's going to happen after this story. There's another story coming that can show you what immorality can do to men, how much it can ruin and destroy. So is it what as President Paul Kagame says he will run for the 4th term in next year's elections. Yes, I am indeed a candidate. When asked what Western governments would make of his decision, he said, I'm sorry for the West, but what the West thinks is not my problem. Agreed. Say, you're on a mission, you are there to serve. What people say about you means nothing. You are doing your job well. I mean, look at where Rwanda is today. I was disappointed. The first time, actually, where I discovered Brian Kagoro, the first time where I discovered him, he was actually speaking in Rwanda at a summit. My heart was torn in pieces when I realized that he's actually Zimbabwean. I was like, yo, I've never seen these men of great minds in Zimbabwe. Actually, these should be the people that need to advise Mr. Mnangagwa, the president, not the nonsense of Java, Roma, around, we can't have such kind of people around the president. We need men and women of great minds who can shape our government into the right direction. People who fears the Lord. I guess that's why Trevor Ngwe resigned, because he realized that no, it could not save him well in that space. The space was very toxic. We need sometimes to really come together and say, how can we fix our country? Do not forget to drop your location, because I'm going to send you a shout out very soon. And also like the live as we move right along, because we need to push the algorithm. Now, also my friend, my brother, Alinaka said, if it was up to me, as Alinaka, quote unquote, I quote, Rwanda shouldn't be having an election next year. What's the point of elections? Because the country is moving forward. When we compare Zimbabwe and Rwanda, can you? Zimbabwe that really needed elections, look what happened. We were embarrassed. We were embarrassed. But he said he shouldn't be having an election. Do I agree? Completely agreed. You know, but at the end of the day, just to make sure that at least they fulfill the mandate or they fulfill the constitution, they have to do the elections. If people voluntarily vote Mr. Kagame back in the office, that would be Rwanda's choice. But I think he's really a good leader. He's a very humble leader. I respect him so much. The work that he's doing in Rwanda, exceptional. He deserves some respect. So Rwanda shouldn't be having an election next year. What's the point of elections? He said the service delivery is going well. Functioning nation. Everyone is happy. No suppression. No oppression. You know, healthcare is functioning well. You can see what's going on with Rwanda. Jobs are everywhere. People are getting jobs. It may not be perfect, but you can't compare with Zimbabwe. Never. No, nowhere near Rwanda, Zimbabwe. And peace and security. Our people, these people are free. They're fulfilling purpose. Yet our people are literally struggling to fulfill purpose. Right. And also education systems on top class. I remember last time, I actually heard that some of our teachers went to work in Rwanda. What is that supposed to tell you? People can't even trust our systems, but they can work in other countries. I think I need to drink more water on that one. Infrastructure, top class. And so on and so forth. This is democracy in motion. And there is no vacancy. Right, there's no vacancy. So definitely people, why are they having elections? But like I said, as part and parcel of the, you know, their policies or the country's constitution says so, so that must run. And people will decide who they want. But trust me, Kagame is top class. Top class. I would be under the dictatorship of Kagame. As a matter of fact, if ZANU-PF was doing well, I don't think we would be crying for an alternative. No, we could all be fine and said, okay, let's go, ZANU-PF. Good to see you. Let's go. Right? But unfortunately, it's not what it is. It's not what it is. So guys, listen. I told you before that I'm going to be talking about marriage. Let me just send a shout out to Mono Mukundi. Listen, Mono Mukundu, right? Is that his name? Clive Mono Mukundu. The guy that used to play the guitar for Oliver Mtukuz before he went to heaven. You know? Incredible guy. You know, he's the one that did a remix for absolutely incredible. Guys, this man deserve a bell. Let me just say this to you. And I'm a family-oriented person. I can never stop preaching about this. As long as I'm still breathing in this world, I will never stop to speak to men. And I pray and I plead with most of you men. I'm telling you. If you want to see the easiest way to destroy a man is women. You think I like? Ask Solomon. Solomon had 700 wives. He also had 400 concubines. It means those women that you can have that, you know, you can marry them too, but they are women. But that was the 4. And then when he wrote he said, listen, I don't want you to repeat what I did. Don't play with women. If you're a man here, don't mess up with women. If you want to fall, play with women. The easiest way to see a man falling is women. And I'm going to talk about another man that will shock you down there. Who played with women today is from hero to zero. Stop that. I'm telling you as a sister, the easiest way to fall, even for a woman too. I'll tell you, I know I've got bodies. I've got women that I counsel all the time. I sit around with women who are broken and tattered. Play with men. Don't mess up with sex. It's a spiritual deal. It's not a physical deal. It's a spiritual deal. There's exchange of energies, exchange of destinies. Why are you busy wasting your destiny with different multiple men or women? Stop that. Mono Mukundi deserves a bell. 9 years because his wife apparently was diagnosed with a disease and she's mentally unstable. She's taking medication. So he said if he lastly had intercourse with his wife, for the past 9 years in 2014. I want you guys to take a listen to what he had to say, because these words don't have to be my own words. I want you to listen to what he had to say. These are his words. Please take a listen.
Diagnosed with the year 2000, she was diagnosed with a psychiatric problem, and the problems kept coming,
2001.
About year 2000. So she's got now 23 years living on medication. And you know how it is when they say on the wedding day,
for better, for worse.
For better, for worse, in sickness and in pain. And the sickness actually is not flu. Community sickness, one of the other sickness a type of sickness even escalated to the extent that since 2014 we've never been intimate. But I'm still standing with her because of our history, because what we have is true love. I know a lot of people have failed to stand such issues, but with me,
I'm gonna drink to that. I'm gonna drink to that.
That touches my heart right there.
Yeah.
So how has that affected you? Has that affected you in any way?
It has just made me stronger.
Right.
It has made me a better marriage counselor. Because in most cases, like right now I'm 50, I'm still very active. At 53, I'm still very active in the music industry. So in most cases, in the circles that I'll be, whether I'm studio and Bashok and most of the time I'll be the oldest. So young people always come to me with my problems zakati marriage, my problems zakati. Is this a problem? Look at mine.
Wow.
So I think I've helped a lot of people because of that, and it has made me very strong. Yeah, that one is a big one. That one is a big one. Because year 2000, she was there.
Did you hear that? He's now becoming a counselor to most of the young people who may come with their marital problems. His wife is sick because he's committed to the vows. He said, in sickness and in health, I'm going to stick by you. And I'm going to pray. Trust me, this is going to be one of my prayer points every day, that God heals the wife. I'm going to send light to their space so she can be healed, renewed of mind. I think I'll get hold of him and try to find ways so that the woman can be okay. She must get the healing that she needs. But this is just to tell you, some of you're just roaming around. You know, I always tell my brothers around and say, listen, you're spending too much energy on useless people. They're good you forget about their names. Some of you live in Zimbabwe, you maybe you're in South Africa, you're busy chasing women after women. The women that you will never remember. You have destroyed your own families. And then you go back to sick. They will never look at you. I've seen a lot of men and women sick. Trust me, I'll tell you from experience. I've seen men that I went, some of them, I would cry seeing young men or young women sick. No one is around them. Because nobody will never fire, spending money on useless people. But let me tell you, there will come a time that when things get ugly, those people won't be around you. Listen, there's something powerful about family. I've always said to people, if 80% of billionaires are married, 80% of billionaires are married. That should tell you that there's power, there's something, there's a blessing that is attached to marriage. You must remember that. I know some of you have been hurt. Trust me, get some time to heal. Don't use relationships to heal. God, some time to heal so that you can rebound and get the right person for your life. Stop wasting your life. Life is too precious. Stop doing that. You can hear, Mono Mukundi is an example. I've always said to him, because I'm very much an open book, because I love to help young people. I'm 40 years old. It's not, I talk about this all the time. But one thing that helps me, why it's so easy for me to teach young people, I've made up my mind that I'm not going to waste my life sleeping with men that they have nothing to do with my life. I'm looking for a husband. I'm not looking for people to play around with. I want a husband. I'm a wife and I want a husband. There's a difference. You know, if I want to get any man, I can get anyone, anytime, any minute, but I'm looking for a husband. So if you don't have a husband material or you're not your husband qualities, please keep looking. I'm not one of them. I'm a wife. You know what I'm saying? I'm there to save. Trust me, I'll save you. Make sure that you fulfill purpose and do your last day when Jesus said, when you get to heaven, God say, well done, you faithful servant. Because I have served and helped you to fulfill purpose. That's my calling. But I'm not going to waste my time and energy following every man who is messed up, who has no direction, wasting my life. I don't have time for that. I don't have it. So we're going to teach and restore back our dignity. This will tell you that if you're a single person here and you are busy with oh no, you know what, you just vibe. Stop. There's no vibing, nothing. You are, don't waste your life. Focus on becoming a better person. There's more to life than just wasting your destiny. So, Clive, you had focus, focus, focus. You must have a goal. What is the reason? What's your purpose for living? Find the reason why God has called you to live and focus on that. But don't waste your life. Direction. You had Mono Mukundi. He's been faithful to his wife. A very sad story, but let's pray for him and trust God that God will heal his wife. The faithfulness that he is, this man, may God bless him. May God give him more wisdom and counsel. He is really a good man. He's a good man. These are the men that we need in our society, who understands the power of family and who are committed to the cause, who understand that, let me just tell you, the world is getting ugly. That's why you know that sex sells. Everywhere you turn, someone is naked. Everywhere you turn, social media is becoming porn. The last time I checked, the porn had some sites, but every social media platform, women are naked, men are naked. So you have to control. You must be a disciplined person who knows what to consume and not what to consume. Sometimes I see women who are naked, I can't even look twice, I just flip and I move forward. If I see men who are naked, I flip, I move forward. You have to be in control of your destiny. It takes wisdom to do so. That's what we say. It takes wisdom to do so. You've got a better life. Don't waste your life. Moving right along, talking about men who also kind of play a game. Shingi Munyeza. Listen, I am not a person who judges, but I'm a person who always draw lesson from every situation that I see that there's a need for us to teach. Shingi Munyeza, I knew him being a pastor. This man was so successful. We all know his story, right? But I guess some people are saying he once just become closer to the regime. He was closer to the regime. The moment you get closer to the regime, you know, they said the power of companionship, right? The power of association. Yeah, let me tell you, I love Zimbabweans. But one thing I will never do is to be in the camp of the wicked. Because I know when you're in the camp of the wicked, my dad used to say, the moment you are in the camp of the wicked, just know that the devil is in the neighborhood. And he may come and knock at the door and say, excuse me, I'm here. You know what I mean? So be watchful, be wiser, be smart. When it comes to life, be smart. So he was now dining with the regime. And remember those allegations that when he went online and wished his wife an anniversary. And the daughter responded, embarrassed him in front of people. And I remember, I cannot read a bit of a clip here. And Munyeza had his dirty laundry displayed on the public after he posted the picture of his wife and himself celebrating their wedding anniversary. Happy anniversary to my best friend. That was Shingi. Confident. My love and mother of my only daughter. I want to grow old with you two. Death separates us. It's been a great 26 years of growth, learning and joy. God has been great to us. For that, I'm truly grateful. I love you always and forever. Read Munyeza's caption. That was him posting the tweet. And the daughter immediately went and responded to his father. First of all, hold on. And I'm going to say, if you're a daughter here, that move was the worst move any child could ever do. Yeah, I love my daddy. There are things that my daddy may do that are wrong. I have no right. Let me start right there. I have no right to stand and embarrass my father, especially online. I've always said to people, you may have your own dirty laundry there. Please don't take your dirty laundry to the world, like online, and be talking about it. If you come in with your stories or if you know something about me, a day before yesterday, somebody had the nerve to come in and come to my Twitter page and commented with something that is very personal. And I knew where that was going. You know what I did? I just blocked and I kept moving. I knew that the devil was in the neighborhood, wanted to try me. I'm like, no, you came to the wrong person. I don't entertain nonsense. I just blocked and I kept on moving. You cannot take your personal issues to online. It's not wisdom. Let me tell you why. Because you end up looking like you're not okay in your head. What the daughter did is not your own father. Yeah. You know, listen. Don't carry cases. Your parents, the Bible can never lie. It said you must honor your parents, your mother and your father. Even if they are not perfect, find ways to speak in your own corners, but don't drag it to the court of public opinion. These are not government issues, y'all. This is your personal life. Tomorrow when you start dining with your friends, I've seen women who go around and said, my husband is a bad man, or my wife, she's terrible. And how did you get here? I do not encourage people to put their personal lives to online. Don't bring it. This is too personal. The daughter crossed the line there. Embarrassing your daddy online on Twitter, the worst move ever. You're opening the room to the enemy, the devil. So look where they are today. So she went in and replied to the father and said, in response, she said to me, happy anniversary to your wife you cheat on and the daughter you left fatherless. You fake evil. You rather remove this post because you do not cheat on your on a wife you love. That is called evil. Okay, first of all, if your father is cheating to your mother, he's not cheating to you, he's cheating to your mother. These two people must deal with their own issues. I have no right to come and sneak and tell my daddy, or you're cheating on your wife. And yeah, no, that was the worst. But anyway, you responded in the apology. I said, recently I allowed, you came out and read out a statement that was Shingi Munyeza. I said, I recently allowed myself into a situation where I failed morally. I failed my wife and family. I failed the church and that I'm part of. I therefore seek your forgiveness. I'm stepping down to introspect and restore. I covet your prayers and support. God bless you all. So that was him. He apologized after that, and which I respect him for it, because I mean, you knew he owed the church and the people the apology, which I said, thank you, Shingi, for doing that. Excuse me, but the daughter crossed the line. Excuse me, that was the worst. You don't do that to your father. The worst thing. I can never embarrass my daddy to that extent. Never, never, never. Not online, y'all. My family is not perfect, y'all, but I would never. Even if I can date someone, you will never see me putting things online. I have nobody has any part of talking about my life. I can. If things go wrong, I will resolve it. Learn to take your personal issues off the line, off internet. It's disrespect of self. So now, Shingi Munyeza, here we are. But allegations were that he actually was busy with a lady. She came out and said she was not the one, but the lady that is not busy with, allegedly busy with this young man who recently lost, and who had also scandals of $5 million US scandal. That is Wajga Jena. That same lady, she's the one that people allegedly saying she was busy with him, but she came out saying it was a lie. But I'm just looking at a woman who was with then Shingi, and Shingi now he's definitely in a financial crisis, and he's lost his house. Very sad indeed, but she's moved to Wajga Jena. I think Wajga Jena is in a better place now. I mean, you know, the scandal of $5 million. Like I said, these allegations, I don't know, but I'm just trying to paint a picture and say, hey, what I've told you, that women can only want you when things are okay. Most of the times, especially the ones that are liars, that are after the money, they only want you when things are okay. But when the money is gone, they're gone. So men, be wiser, be sober, be vigilant. It's called wisdom. Play your cards right, because now look, you had your family intact, women came in, wipe you, and now you are sitting with financial crisis. So Shingi Munyeza he lost his Borrowdale house drama, but no surrendering. So in June 2022, Shingi sold his Borrowdale mansion home for $625,000 US to Connect Microfinance Zambia. That was maybe a business deal. And the deal included his household property, sofas, chairs, fridge, which he sold for $10,630 US. The Zambian company acquired the house and properties from Munyeza on the 6th of October 2022. In July 2023, business executive Marjorie Mutemererwa attached Munyeza's house after High Court judgment when Shingi failed to pay a $100,000 US debt. After the house and properties were attached, Connect Microfinance Zambia approached the sheriff asserting that it owed the house and properties. So currently Shingi Munyeza is renting the Borrowdale Brooke House. He sold to Connect Microfinance Zambia for $1,500 per month. I don't know why he's doing that, because I suggest you could just downsize, Mr. Shingi Munyeza. It's okay. It's part of life. Yeah, we can learn lessons here. Let me tell you, life is good ups and downs. That's how it is. God created it that way. So, Mr. Shingi Munyeza, I suggest that you downgrade. Leave Borrowdale Brooke. Please just leave $1,500 US. You can save some money and rebuild yourself. That's just my suggestion. That's my advice, but you don't have to take it. But I'm a person who believes that when things get ugly, downsize. Downsize and downsize. It's part of life, and you can rebuild yourself. Yo! I'm having such a great time with you right now. Drop your location. Let me send you a shout out, because I'm here to just share some love with you. Don't forget to like the live as we move right along, but drop your location. I'm here to send some love to you. Good afternoon to everybody. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're new here, because we're having a great time. EU, pull the funding for ZEC, and also Mono Mukunda, really a genius. the reactions of Zimbabweans as far as the EU's polling is concerned. And also looking at Mr. Shingi Munyeza, such a story that we can all learn one or two things. Trust me, everything that happens in your neighborhood is just for you guys to learn. It's not for you to blame yourself or to condemn or to laugh. No. But you can learn from it and you don't repeat the same mistakes that other people make. That's the reason why we read books, we study, we check people around us. God allows it for a reason because we're always going to learn from each other. We had a great time, y'all. I had a great time with you. Thank you guys for tuning in and just stick around with me this afternoon. See you later on in the late night show. I can't wait to come back and just stick around 7:30, 8 o'clock. I'll be back again so that we can cover some of the latest news that we just received. I love you all, and guys, may God bless you and may God bless Zimbabwe. Please show some love to each other, kiss your family members, phone them, because today may be the last day. I was encouraged and said, please, if you don't do it, no one else will. I know some of you are